to it, you will never divide trusting. O people, I leave behind among you, and the other is my family. So what the Prophet ﷺ, while he was doing this, he lifted up his two index fingers, and he did to show that the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt alayhi are equal, are exactly equal. And he did not do this. He did not do this because the reason why, because this was show that the Ahlul Bayt and Quran are unequal. This would show because the fingers on the one hand are unequal.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. And that's exactly it. We see that the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt are 100% connected. That was what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was trying to tell us. We have the physical Quran, which is, the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the Ahlul Bayt, the family of Prophet Muhammad, that is the walking, talking Quran. That is the live action, the way that people can see how to live their lives. And that's what we do. We look at their traditions. We look at everything they did. And that's how we live our lives. That's how we do, we try to make our lives after them. We try to follow their direction. And of course, where did they come from? They were from, exactly from the Quran, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why it's not just as simple as, following exactly what the Quran says. Because, we're human beings after all. We didn't write the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote the Quran. And while there are some things that we do understand, there are also some things that we don't understand. We don't have the capacity to understand. There's many different things that, 50, 100 years ago, people didn't know. Not everything in the Quran. That's why they say the Quran is for the past, for the present, and is for the future. So there's some things that we still don't know about in the Quran. There's some verses that we still haven't discovered yet. So that's why, in order to fully be on the right path, we have to not only follow the Quran, the physical, what it says word for word, but we also have to follow the example of that. That, if you see a surah, the prophets and imams, that's how they live their lives, exactly from the Quran. Now, Sister Wajiha, Brother earlier just mentioned, of course, Prophet Muhammad, part of his sermon, he said about, the two things that he was leaving behind, the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. Now, can you tell us what Prophet Muhammad said about Imam Ali alayhi salam? Why was Imam Ali alayhi salam there?
Well, of course, the history was that this was the final pilgrimage or the final Hajj of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So that means that he had to get his affairs in order. And so the two Quranic ayahs that were released or revealed that day, and I will say it right now, it was that one, O Apostle, deliver what has been sent down to you by your Lord. And if you don't do it, you have not delivered his message at all. And Allah will protect you from the people. This is from the Quran, Surah verse 5, 67, sorry. And the second one was, today I have perfected your religion and completed my favor upon you, and I was satisfied that Islam will be your religion. Quran 5, verse 3. And then when the hadith was this, that man kuntu mawla fahaz alimullah, that whoever I am his leader or mawla, Ali is his leader or mawla. Which comes to show that which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, through obviously the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has commanded that Imam Ali alayhi salam will be his successor and will be the next in line after the Prophet, peace be upon him. Obviously not as a prophet, but as an imam.
Yes, thank you, Sister Wajiha. That's exactly how it, that was the exact thing. That was the importance of the day. That Prophet Muhammad, his entire thing, everything that he had done, his entire, as a prophet on this earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him down. It would not have been complete if he didn't do that, if he didn't align his successor. And that shows there's some importance of successorship. Like, for example, if there's a successful company, and, the person, you have to have a successor. You have to have somebody who's going to take over that company from you when you're no longer here. And that shows the importance that everything Prophet Muhammad did, all of the proofs to the people, everything, that it ended right there with Imam Ali alayhi salam, that to continue everything that he had done and continue the imamah. Now that's where some of the people, and it also saying there's a saying that what happened after he had done that, after he'd given that speech, he had saying Imam Ali alayhi salam to the successors. The Prophet he sat down and he told the people that every single one of those people, he told all of them to come over and shake Imam Ali alayhi salam's hand. And people were like, there's like 120,000 people. There were 100,000 people. They said that's going to take forever. It's going to take days. And Prophet said, we have time. Why don't you go do it? So that just shows the importance that how clear it was that nowadays you have the media, you have all these TV that everything spreads so fast you can get it around the world in 5 minutes. But back then that was the way, that there was 100,000 people and it spread across the world. Everybody knew about this, that Imam Ali salam was going to be the successor. And it shows that that's exactly how it was. That Imam Ali salam was just like Prophet sallam. He knew exactly what to do. Just like I said about the example about a company, you can't have a successor that doesn't really know anything. Like if I have a medical company, for example, I can't align a successor who has no idea what the whole company is saying. You have to have somebody who knows. So Imam Ali was like that. He was his cousin. He knew he was always with Prophet. So that's why it was the divine commandment of Allah that Prophet was going to be the final prophet, and after him there's going to be the Imams, the 12 Shia Imams. And that's where most of the people are kind of divided on that, and that's why we have so many different groups of Muslims. That from Prophet it was very clear that this is what Islam was. But after Prophet the people didn't really get the message, you could say, and unfortunately that's why today we have so many different groups of Muslims, and everyone has their own traditions. They all have their own this and that. But the true path of Prophet, the thing that the message that he was trying to give, that is with Imam Ali alayhi salam, and that starts with Imam Ali alayhi salam. It starts, it ends with Imam Ali alayhi salam, and of course his progeny. So that was the importance of the day of Eid al-Ghadeer. That was the main thing about today. That's why it's such a holy day. Brother Ali Reza, there's many different things that we can do today. Can you tell us some of the traditions that we should try to follow today? Some of the things that we can do on this holy day.
Sure. Um, so this is the day of acceptance of prayers. So we should try to do as much as duas, as much as we can do duas, and we should also try to send as much salawat we can, and also we should try to stay away from sins on this day. Also, sadaqah is highly recommended because when if you give sadaqah, it counts 1,000 times the amount given as sadaqah. So, and also it is a high reward for feeding other believers, and it is also the day of greeting and embracing other mu'mineen with joy. And
Yes, thank you. Yes,
and
continue.
we yeah, so we should the greeting is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi ja'alana min al-mutamassikina bi wilayati Amir al-Mu'minina wal a'immati alayhim as-salam. Who praise be to Allah, who blessed us to be among those who cling and hold to the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen and all the Imams. Peace be upon them all.
Thank you, Brother Ali. And that's exactly what we were saying. That's one of the main points, is we have to realize that today is the most important day, the day of Eid al-Ghadeer. When Imam Ali alayhi salam became the successor, it's the most important Eid. There's a saying from, it was one of the Imams, that Eid al-Ghadeer isn't, it's celebrated, like a lot more in heavens than it is on earth. And that's what we see. We see that people, all the other Eids are seen as like higher. Like you see Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha as, higher, and you see Eid al-Ghadeer as, Eid al-Ghadeer. But we don't realize how important this day is for, all of Islam. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this day, one of the most important days. And, this is really continuing everything. Like I mentioned, with Imam Ali Islam, it continues the entire line up until today. So we see that the importance and how we have to try to do as much as we can on this day, in terms of, like you were mentioning, trying to give to the poor, trying to, feed others, whatever you can do. Even if you have like a few dollars, you give it to somebody, somebody in need, you put some money aside for the poor. Every little thing counts. So whatever, we did up to this point, right now is the time. There was also a saying, I believe it was that if we treat, it was from one of the imams, and he said that if we treat this day like the most important day of the year, then, if you treat this day as the most important day of the year, then angels, every day angels will come by and I think shake your hands 20 times a day, or, 10 times a day. So that just shows the importance that we have to try to, you have to, think in your mind that today is the most important day of the year. It's one of the most important days of the year. Because unfortunately, people don't give it that much significance. But, like we were going over today, we went over how big this day is. So we have to really treat it like that. Whatever we can do, even little things, getting your brother some water, getting your parents some water, whatever you can do. Little things make a big difference. So, inshallah, if we can try to do those, whatever we can today. Another big thing is, there was a story from, I think it was Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, or, it was from one of the Imams. It was that, on the day of Eid al-Ghadeer, he would invite a lot of people over to his house, and he would, he would feed everyone, he'd give them food, and then, when they would leave, he would give them all a lot of gifts, and he would, give them a lot of things. So, Sister Wajiha, can you tell us, what did you do today for Eid al-Ghadeer?
Well, today, it was like other Eids, did the ghusl, did amals, did greeted everybody, made phone calls and gave congratulations on this day. Hopefully after this program, I'll be going out with my family for a dinner. So yeah, this is like any other Eid, but like a bigger Eid, to be fully celebrated and decorated as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, because of the coronavirus, once again, we've been talking about this last few months. How was that different? What would you be doing regularly compared to now?
Well, if it wasn't for the coronavirus, I know that a lot of my college Shia students who I know will be getting together and, holding a milad or something, regarding celebrating this Eid. A lot of people will be coming together and celebrating, youth, the elders, the young, everybody. But unfortunately, we're all celebrating it individually and separately because, we don't want to get at risk of coronavirus.
Of course, and that's the main thing. That, of course, these are very different times, but wherever we can compromise, we can do something a little different. At least we know that at the end of the day, it makes a difference. Not putting yourselves at risk. Even for the other Eid, of course, there's a lot of big Eids that passed. Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha. Those are also, for all of the Eids, really, we haven't, been able to be together with people. We haven't been able to, we've been confined to our homes, basically. But, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, we still get all the sawab. We still have, a bigger opportunity to do stuff that we weren't able to do before. So, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Brother Ali, what did you do today? Could you tell us how you celebrated Eid al-Fitr?
Can you repeat your question again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it
Oh, that's
clearly.
fine. I just wanted to know, how did you celebrate Eid al-Fitr?
Yes. So, Alhamdulillah. I celebrated Eid al-Ghadir by reciting some Quran, and you know Also, I celebrated Eid al-Ghadeer by smiling, which is also sadaqah.
Oh, wow.
And
So that's, yeah, smiling's
thank you,
also a
Akshay.
great thing. I'm smiling right now if you can't see it, but, you know.
I know you can't
Thank you,
Yeah,
see
Akshay.
so,
me, so.
yeah, you see you're smiling behind there. I can't, you know. Um, so, yeah, very important to smile. It's another great thing. Rahmat Sallam used to smile all the time. One other tradition about it was it said to read the ziyarat of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So if you guys weren't able to do that, I highly suggest you read that ziyarat of Imam Ali alayhi salam before the day is over, because obviously this is basically the day of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Imam Ali alayhi salam, a huge part of this day. What happened? And there's also, I think, a saying that to try, go to the haram of Imam Ali alayhi salam on this day. So obviously, coronavirus, but if people live in the Jap and they're able to go there, congratulations to those people. That's very lucky. Um, yeah, so that's all the time we have left for today. Thank you for everyone who participated in our program. Thank you to Sister Wajiha and to Brother Ali for joining us today. Like I said,
You're
it's to
welcome.
give gifts, so here's a big bag of candy for both of you. Here's some candy. Oh, this is on Zoom. Oh my gosh, I didn't notice that. Well, I just want to say that I'll eat this in your honor. So thank you for joining us today. So I get love for that. So thank you for joining us on today's program. Now we're going to do Allahumma salli walika for the safety and protection of our 12th Imam, and inshallah we're all helpers of the 12th Imam. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اللهم كن وليك الحجة ابن الحسن
ابن الحسن
صلواتك عليه
صلواتك عليه
وعلى
وعلى
في هذه
في هذه
الساعة
الساعة
في كل
في
ساعة
كل ساعة
وليا
وليا
وحافظا
وحافظا
قائدا
وقائدا
وناصرا
وناصرا
وكليلا وإنا
وإنا
حتى تسكنه أرضك توا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Once again, Ghadeer Mubarak to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.